You just read the same paragraph 4 times, and you still can't tell anyone what it said. Your eyes moved, your brain didn't. You close the book feeling productive. By tomorrow morning, almost none of it will be left. You call yourself a slow learner. You're not. You've just been taught to learn the wrong way. Nobody sat you down and explained how memory actually works. So you did what everyone does. You reread, you highlighted, you hoped. Your brain isn't broken, you're using it backwards. Here's the good news. Fast learners aren't smarter than you. They just have better habits. Small habits, boring habits, habits your brain was built for. By the end of this video, you'll know the 7 that matter most. And you'll see exactly why the way you've been studying has been quietly failing you. Let's start with a habit that changes everything, because once you get this one, the other 6 get easier. The first habit is called active recall, and it is the closest thing to a cheat code your brain has. Most people study by looking at information, reading it, watching it, highlighting it. That feels like learning. It isn't. Your brain only strengthens what it has to work for. When you look at a note, your brain relaxes, it recognizes the words and moves on. When you try to remember something without looking, your brain has to fire the actual memory circuit. That effort is what builds the memory, not the input, the output. So flip your studying, close the book, and ask yourself a question. What was the main point of that page? What are the 3 steps I just learned? Get it wrong, that's fine. Getting it wrong and then checking is where the learning happens. This one shift from reviewing to recalling will change your results faster than any app you can download. Try it right now with something you learned this week. Close your eyes and pull it out from memory. Notice how different it feels from just reading. That feeling is your brain actually working. The second habit is spacing, and it fixes the reason you forget almost everything. Your brain forgets on a schedule. It's not random. Anything new starts fading within hours if you don't come back to it. Cramming loses to spacing every single time. The fix is simple. Review the same material at growing gaps. See it today. See it tomorrow. See it in 3 days. See it in a week. Each time your brain says, "This keeps showing up. I should keep this." And it moves the memory from short-term to long-term. 5 short sessions across a week will beat 1 long session the night before. Not by a little, by a lot. If you only change one thing about how you study, space it out. And here's the part nobody warns you about. Spaced review feels less productive than cramming because you forget bits between sessions. That small struggle to remember is the whole point. It's the workout your memory needs. The third habit is sleep. And it's not lazy, it's when your brain actually does the work. While you sleep, your brain replays what you learned that day. It sorts it, it links it to what you already know. It locks it in. Pull an all-nighter and you skip that step entirely. You showed up. Your brain didn't get to file the notes. That's why the material you crammed last night feels like thawed by the exam. Protect your sleep like it's part of studying, because it is. 7 to 9 hours, consistent times, dark room, no phone in the last stretch. You are not wasting time when you sleep. You are finishing the lesson. Have you ever met that person who studies half as long as you and remembers twice as much? They usually aren't smarter, they just sleep. If you're serious about learning, your bedtime is a study strategy. Treat it that way, and everything else in this list works better. The fourth habit is teaching, and it exposes what you actually know. You can feel like you understand something. Then you try to explain it and everything falls apart. That's not failure, that's information. The moment you can't explain it is the exact moment your brain shows you the gap. So talk it out. Explain the idea to an imaginary student. Say it out loud in plain words, like you're talking to a curious 10-year-old. If you can't say it simply, you don't fully understand it yet. Go back, find the fuzzy part, and try again. This one habit is why tutors often learn faster than the students they teach. Every time they explain, they're pulling the memory out, checking the gaps, and rebuilding it stronger. You don't need students. You just need to talk to the ceiling for 10 minutes. Or record a quick voice memo explaining what you learned today, play it back tomorrow. You'll spot the weak parts instantly, and that's exactly where your next study session should go. The fifth habit is chunking, and it stops your brain from drowning in details. Your working memory is tiny. It can hold only a few things at once. Try to shove 20 separate facts in there, and most of them slip out. But your brain has a workaround. It groups related pieces into single chunks. A phone number isn't 10 digits to you, it's 3 groups. A song isn't 1,000 notes, it's a chorus and some verses. Chunking works the same way with anything you learn. Instead of memorizing 12 isolated points, find the pattern that connects them into 3 ideas. Ask yourself, what's the big picture here? What are the 2 or 3 main themes? Everything else hangs off those hooks. You'll remember more, faster, and it will actually make sense instead of feeling like a random pile. This is also why mind maps work so well for some people. They force you to group ideas visually, and your brain loves anything that gives it structure. The sixth habit is deep focus, and it's the one most people have quietly lost. Your brain cannot form strong memories while it's being interrupted. Every ping, every glance at your phone, every quick tab switch resets the process. You are not learning during those 30-second peaks, you are restarting. Real learning happens in blocks of uninterrupted attention. 25 to 50 minutes at a time with the phone in another room. Not next to you, not face down, in another room. That single move can double how much you actually absorb in the same amount of time. And here's the reframe most people miss. Focus isn't a personality trait, it's a habit you build. The first few sessions will feel uncomfortable. Your hand will reach for your phone that isn't there. Sit with it. Within a week, your brain will start to enjoy the quiet. That quiet is where fast learning lives. If you've been telling yourself you just have a short attention span, be careful with that story. Attention is a muscle, and like any muscle, it responds to what you train it to do. The seventh habit is the one almost nobody was taught, and it ties all the others together. It's called interleaving, and it sounds strange at first. Instead of studying one topic until you master it, you mix related topics in the same session. 20 minutes of one, 20 of another, then back. Your brain hates this at first. It feels harder. It feels messier. That feeling is exactly why it works. When you mix topics, your brain has to keep pulling the right tool for each problem. That constant switching builds sharper, more flexible memory. Studying one thing for 3 hours feels smooth, but smooth studying is often shallow studying. A little bit of struggle is the signal that real learning is happening. If it feels too easy, your brain is probably not doing enough work to remember it. Athletes know this. Musicians know this. They mix drills instead of drilling one thing to death. Learners can borrow the same trick, and most never do. So here's the shift I want you to make. Stop chasing the feeling of understanding in the moment. Chase the feeling of remembering it a week later. Those are 2 completely different things. The first is a warm glow that fades. The second is a skill that stays. Let's pull it all together, because 7 habits sounds like a lot, but they actually stack into one simple system. You focus deeply. You chunk the big ideas. You recall instead of reread. You interleave related topics. You space your reviews. You teach it out loud. You sleep on it. That's it. That's the whole engine. Notice what's missing from that list. Longer hours, more highlighters, fancier apps, a bigger desk. None of that is what separates fast learners from everyone else. What separates them is that they stopped confusing motion with progress. They stopped grinding for the sake of grinding. They started working with their brain instead of against it. And that shift from crammer to real learner is available to you starting today. You don't have to overhaul your whole life this week. Pick one habit from these 7. Just one. Maybe it's closing the book and asking yourself questions. Maybe it's protecting your sleep or putting your phone in another room for one focus block. Try it for the next 7 days and watch what happens. You will notice something strange. You'll study less and remember more. You'll start to trust your own brain again. That trust is the real prize. Because once you know how you learn, no subject feels impossible. You can pick up a new language, a new skill, a new field, and know you have the tools to actually keep it. Think about what that means for the next 5 years of your life. Every book, every course, every idea you touch will actually stay with you instead of slipping through. That's not a small thing. That's the difference between drifting and compounding. Is any of this hit home? Do me one small favor. Subscribe to Bodhi Brain so the next lesson finds you. Give this video a like if you want more like it because it genuinely helps the channel grow. And drop a comment with which of the 7 habits you're going to try first. I read them. The next video is already lined up for you on how memory actually gets stored. Because once you see that, everything you just learned will click even harder. Your brain is more powerful than anyone taught you. You just needed the right habits to prove it. I'll see you in the next one.